And it's a year that is full of a lot of things. Top among others was the COVID-19. Today is supposed to be, or it is our last meeting for the year. So, being our last meeting, it will mean we'll have to bring forward a lot of other issues that we needed to do, so that we close in a proper way. I have a correspondence from Honorable Kanyile, who was supposed to ask questions last week to the minister, but because she was not audible enough, she wrote those questions and sent them to me and sent them to the minister. And I want to reiterate and say that I have always requested members that whenever we have questions to ask to the minister, they must be asked through the central point, which is firing the chairperson and AD. But what has happened last week was an exceptional case on the basis of exceptional circumstances. That is why we've allowed those questions to be asked in the manner they were asked, and we do expect the responses swiftly, and we will make necessary follow-ups. Because the fact that we are not in a meeting the same way does not mean that the office is closed. We still continue to interact with a lot of correspondences that comes to the office. And just to remind all of us that in the matter that most of the questions arises from the matter we discussed last week of Bushiri and his escape. And our main resolution last week was the report provided by the minister was a preliminary report. We were waiting for a report of the cluster that will be consolidated and giving us every aspect of what constituted our questions. We do await that. We have also received requests from a lot of members saying we need to call a meeting inviting certain portfolio committees. I must say that we were processing that, but we are quite sensitive to the fact that we are waiting for a meeting of the entire cluster and its report. So we've also suggested now to the cluster and written to the cluster to say we were requesting that we go and do oversight in the affected areas as the cluster. We are waiting for necessary approvals to do so. Once Parliament has approved, we'll then undertake that the oversight to the necessary areas, which is waterproof and OR TAM, respectively. So once approval are given, we'll then respond as a cluster, because we don't want to deal with this matter as one component of Home Affairs. We want a holistic report that involves all other departments that are part of this cluster. So with regard to, I have received also correspondence with regard to the Constitutional Court ruling on the electoral system of the country. With regard to that matter, we are waiting for the executive to table a bill to that effect, which will be debated by Parliament. We have taken that decision not very light, because we would have easily just done a parliamentary bill. But given the nature and the complexities of the bill itself and its financial implications, we felt that the executive must be very close to it and it must be highly involved, so that Parliament does not pass a bill that the executive may be unable to fund and so on. So we've got to work together. We are indeed required by the Constitution to work together as the legislature and the executive. We were expected to work interdependently and intertwined. So I think that's what we endeavor to do from time to time. So members, we have, in our last meeting, taken a report from the IEC, which was presented substantively by Mr. Shiguri, who is part of our meeting. And we also have Commissioner Muyebsa. He's also part of this meeting. They have presented. So my expectation today is that members must engage to the presentation which was made last week, which I hope all members have, and enter into a discussion on those issues. What I've said last week was we did receive a lot of public comments, and at the center of everything was that we needed as members to determine whether or not the comments are sufficient that we can respond to, or must also call those people who have commented for public hearings. But from where I'm sitting, because there were a few contentious points that were raised, principal of which was the Section 14. So I want us to discuss that alongside those kind of issues, and it's deliberation by members, and then we will next year take further last deliberations after we've determined how those deliberations must take place. So I'm generally going to allow members to speak to what was presented last week, and Mr. Shiguri and Commissioner Mayapia are here to interact with the deliberation of members. Then we will take it. We'll take it from there. Welcome, Commissioner. I see the Deputy Minister Njabulo Nzunza has joined also the meeting. Honorable Deputy Minister, you are welcome. And thank you very much for always being available to attend to the portfolio committee on Home Affairs. We really appreciate your